Welcome back to another episode of Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and today I'm going to talk about, I'm going to do a quick review and how-to on the Tamiya German Panther Ausf D separate track link set. I'm working on the new tool Panther D from Tamiya as a buddy build with Steve Mottram, and this is the track set that I'm going to use, and this was released at the same time or real shortly thereafter with the Panther. It was one of 3 items that came out at the same time. There was the track set, a photo etch grill set, and a metal barrel set, all made by Tamiya, all from 2015. But today I want to talk about the track set. I did a little research on the set, and it looks like a really good set, and the only thing that concerned me about the Tamiya tracks was in some of the posts and reviews I've seen online pertaining to these. There are some ejector pin marks on the inside surface of the tracks on the outside edges. Okay, so I'm going to talk about those in just a little bit, but basically what you get in the set, and the set is quite reasonably priced, quite a bit less than all of the other separate track link sets that I was able to find, and way less than the metal ones. But what you get is, you know, obviously the box. You get a little information card and the instructions. And on the instructions, it shows you what you need to put stuff together. This is ABS plastic, which is a form of styrene. It's labeled right on the back, ABS plastic, and regular model cement will work fine. You know, they recommend Tamiya cement, Tamiya extra thin, whatever. I always use Tamiya extra thin on my kits for the most part, so that's what I have today. Some cutters and a modeling knife. And then here's the instructions, super basic. There are 2 pieces per link, and then all the links that have to be put together. I don't remember how many, 85 track links for each side. Okay, that's it. That's the instructions. Super easy. So let's take a look at the actual tracks themselves. You get 4 bags, or I'm sorry, 2 bags with the track links on a sprue labeled G. And I'm going to zoom this in a bit so we can see a little bit better what's going on. Okay, so these are the tracks, and as you can see, the detail is really nice on them. And the reason these are kind of important for this kit is because the D type, the D version of the Panther had these early style tracks that had just like a groove in the cleat part. It didn't have the ice cleats that are kind of at angles on the later versions. So that's another reason I went with these. So they look really good. So you get 2 bags of those and 2 bags of the guide horn portion, okay, which looks like this. And it is labeled H. So you got a G sprue and you got an H sprue. 2 hole sprues. These are nice. It gives you the hollow guide horns, which are missing on vinyl tracks, such as the kit supplied tracks. These tracks are nice, but they are inaccurate in that they don't have the hollow guide horns. So anyway, as far as the ejector pin marks I was talking about, let's zoom in just a little bit more. as you can see at this angle, there are ejector pin marks, and they're on both sides of each link on the inside portion of the link. So that was the part that had me concerned, and that's why I didn't get them initially, because I thought, man, that's going to be a lot of cleanup. But after talking to a few different people, specifically Andy of Tactical Jackalope YouTube channel, he said they're pretty nice and they really weren't that bad. So I went ahead and got them, and they are very, very shallow. Some of them feel raised. It just might be a groove, but so they're really shallow. So at first I was going to sand them off, and I was going to do each individual link, sanding them, and it worked, but I was afraid that I would remove too much material in the surrounding area and destroy some of the detail. So I tried to come up with a different way, and here's what I came up with. An X-Acto blade, or whatever brand you have, a curved blade. And all I do to clean those ejector pin marks up is just holding the blade at a 80-90 degree angle, slightly angled, so let's say 80 degrees. Using that curved edge, I can scrape that ejector pin mark completely off. Okay, it's gone. And the nice thing is, because this plastic is so shiny, as you're scraping, you can see the progress you're making. If you don't get it all the way, there'll still be some shiny parts in the middle. So that is all there is to it. It's very, very easy. You just go down the line, scraping them gently, and it gets rid of that ejector pin mark completely. Now you can cut them off and do it as well. I just found that, and that's the way I did a bunch of them, but I found that my hand cramped up after a bit, having my fingers holding those little tiny links. So I'm not going to do a whole bunch of these. I'm just showing you how quickly they can be done. Okay, then flip it around and do the other side. Let me see if I can show you. So you can see right here, ejector pin mark, no ejector pin mark. It's a little bit dull because it's been scraped off, but it's gone. So that is how easy that is, and by using this rounded blade, it kind of, you know, gets down inside of there, and it doesn't really alter. I think it alters the flatness of the track, or whatever you want to call it, probably less than sanding would, and it's a lot quicker, because in sanding you risk sanding down, whoops, sorry, you know, the rounded edge of the track. So that's why I opted to do this. I've used this method on the inside of track or hatches, like commander's hatches, you know, the circular hatches. Sometimes they're, you know, they'll have detail, but right in the smack dab in the middle or somewhere nearby, there'll be an ejector pin mark, and it's like, how are you supposed to fill that and sand it on the inside with all that other detail in there? So I utilize this method here, and it works. So there you go. That's a whole sprue taken care of. So that takes care of the only imperfection really in these tracks, because on the other edges there are no There's no seam marks. They're very well molded. I mean, there's just no, on the inside part of the track right here. Well, you know what? Let me move on to the next part and then we'll take a look at that. So next thing you need to do is you need to cut them off, obviously. Now, you can cut them off and sand them or whatever. I use my cutters, but I use a specific cutter. Now I've got some of the Zuron cutters. Okay, I've got an orange pair that I mainly use for cutting like wire and stuff like that, you know, like copper wire for making handles. And then I have a black pair, which is a really nice pair that I only use on styrene, obviously. But I also have these. These are made by Gundam Planet, and I decided to get these at the recommendation of Will Patteson of Rube Goldberg Productions, and I'll put a link below for the video that he talks about cutters so you can see what he is talking about. But basically what it is most cutters like these, the Tamiyas and stuff like that, the cutting edge kind of bypasses. Okay, it doesn't come flat together, it bypasses. So it makes a pretty clean cut, but there's still like just a little bit of edge where the part connects to the sprue. These cutters, however, are ultra finely grounded. I don't even know if they said that right. They are ground with precision. Let's put it that way. That sounds better. Ultra sharp. And the nice thing about it is you can cut these links off, rest it up against the part, nice clean cut, and you don't end up with a big piece on the edge. If there is any, it's very, very slight and can be either removed with just a very little bit of a scrape with the knife, or a quick, very light touch with the with a sanding stick. I mean, they cut that well. I mean, you get it. They're perfectly flat on the cutting edge, so you can just get it right up against the part, get it nice and flat. Doesn't work as well on round parts because, you know, you could get it out of round, but it's really quick. I mean, it makes the cleanup a lot easier, or in this case, almost non-existent. So you just cut them off all the way around. Okay, so you got these parts. All right. Okay, so once you have your parts cut off and cleaned up the way you want them, it's really quite simple. The next part is you just take the guide horn pieces, and again, getting really close to the edge, cut those babies off, and it's ready to go. Oops, this one's already put together, so. And be careful, because these will fit on two different ways. One way is wrong, one way is right. So it'll fit on like that. That is wrong. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Because being a chowderhead that I am, I actually glued some of these on wrong before I noticed. Okay, so there's a groove right here. I thought it went on this side here. However, it does not. You need to turn it around, put it like that, so it looks like that. So let me zoom in, see if it'll stay focused. Okay, see how that goes? So, not like that, which it'll fit, that's not the way it goes because they won't snap together properly. Flip it around. Fits like that. Okay. Then once you have that in place like that, just take your cement. And this is where thin cement, whatever kind you use, works well, because you just put some on the seam there. Capillary action will suck it inside the joint. You'll have a nice strong joint without a lot of unnecessary heartache. And that is it. You have a link. You can press it down if you want, but they sit really flat. They fit together really well. So once you get some of those done, then you take the ones that you have done. In this case, I've got a couple of them here. And see, they look like that. And you just snap them together thusly, and you have a workable track link. Okay, that'll allow you to get the sag that is so common on Panther tanks, and that's all there is to it. Now, I've heard some people have also remarked in their videos or online reviews that I've seen. I don't think I've actually seen a video of this yet. They have a problem with them coming apart. Now, these seem to go together really well, so I'm thinking that if you're not careful, because the pins, these pins right here, are very, very tiny, and you know, it is plastic, so you have to be careful. And if you're not careful when you put them together, then there's a chance that you could either rub one off or at least damage it enough to where it just doesn't stay linked together. So basically that is it for the German Panther Ausf D separate track set from Tamiya, 2015 molding, and it's a really good product in my opinion. I would definitely use these again if I needed early tracks. So if you want to stay tuned and see how they paint up and all that kind of stuff, then I will be posting more on my Panther Buddy build with Steve Mottram whenever I get to this part. So anyway, for today, that is it. Thanks for visiting Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. And as always, leave comments below if you have any questions, suggestions even on how this could work easier. You know, I'm game, so just spill them there, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks again for watching.